Land in Lenox, Alabama. It is November the 17th, 2025. Tonight we'll be in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10. Dead center in the Bible is the book of Psalms, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. This one written by King Solomon. But the whole book is Solomon's view of the world under the sun, as if there weren't any God. So be careful about taking doctrine from Ecclesiastes. He says so at the end very carefully. That is, it's not the way it really is. It's the way it looks to man. We have a missionary with us. I've been following what's happening in Mexico. It's unreal. Have you followed that, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. And in Venezuela, and you want to be a missionary to Colombia.
Yes, sir.
Right in the middle of all that.
That's right.
Oh, I'll pray for you, brother. All right, tell us, you flew into the little airport here in let's see, oh, there we go, in Evergreen. Tell us a little bit about yourself here, Rob.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm a missionary to Colombia, South America. I'm from Kinston, North Carolina. And I'm being sent out of my local church there to preach the gospel to the rural areas of Colombia. There in Colombia, I've been able to make some good contacts, make a few visits, and there's a good number of preacher boys, we could say, men who are called to preach, prepared to preach. They're in the bigger cities in their local churches, and I believe the Lord would have me to go and be able to help those men plant churches in the rural areas of the country and to preach the gospel there.
Amen. And how can people get a hold of you if they want to help support your ministry? Joseph, you got there's number on there? Look at this somewhere in there.
Yes, sir. My support goes through the Central Missionary Clearinghouse down in Texas. So there's a website there for donating online, and also there's an address that can be gotten on the website there for sending in checks and support that way.
Okay. How did you, how old were you when you give your heart to the Lord, got saved?
I got saved when I was around 10 years old, but unfortunately I didn't serve the Lord for a number of years as I got up to a teenager through high school. When I was 22, when I surrendered my life to the Lord about almost 8 years ago now. And
how'd you hear about our ministry here?
I began to see your shorts on my Facebook probably a year ago or so, and been keeping up with y'all ever since then.
All right. And you already took the tour here, right?
Yes, sir. Back in August.
And how do you like the tour?
It was great. You definitely should take the real tour and not the grandma tour.
All right. We got a certificate here for those who take the real tour, not the grandma tour. I survived the real tour with Kent Hovind driving the Jeep. That Jeep now we'll go 60 to 0 in 1 second when you hit a tree. Amen. Thank you, Rob. Wish you the best down there. Thank you, brother. If you want to help support him, missionary Rob, there he is right there. Help. What are you doing with your money? Spending it on dumb stuff? Use it to get the gospel out. Oh, am I in the right spot, Joseph? There we go. Thank you, Rob. Okay. Okay. We're on all kinds of channels. They took us off of YouTube, and atheists, thank you, because people are still putting my stuff up on YouTube, probably more than we could have done just on YouTube. But all kinds of other stuff. Let's see, on Facebook, over 200,000, Rumble, let's see, our own app, on X, whatever that is, Instagram, TikTok. Just sign up for all of them. They're all free, okay, if you want to help us out. Our own app costs us about $6,000 a year. Yeah, so if you want to help with that, please do. This will be a good time. All right, let's see. This is November the 17th, Ecclesiastes chapter 10. If you want to join us for Thanksgiving next week, come on down. We have all kinds of activities and lots of good food, or come join us for Christmas. You don't have a family? We'll be your family. And Joseph and I are flying out to California the 2nd of December. What's that, in 2 weeks? To be on the George Jenko podcast. And he really has how many views?
Dino said 400 million a month.
400 million?
All his platforms.
400 million a month on all platforms.
Pretty good.
They're going to put me on there. I'm going to mess it all up for them, aren't I?
You preach the gospel to us.
Say, hey, the Bible is true and evolution is stupid. That ought to fire somebody up. Anyway, come join us. We'll be your family. Did you see this? Archaeologists unearthed a fossil so massive the bones are bigger than car roofs. This is from National Geographic, Nature Magazine, Science Advances, Smithsonian. That's a big dinosaur. Yeah. Of course, nobody designed it. It happened by chance over billions of years. And it turned into a chicken. Yeah. There's no kind way to tell you atheists you're really stupid for believing that, okay? Some demon some places laughing at you for falling for his lie. We mentioned the other night, if you have some skills, welding skills, and want to make some wild dinosaur activities or things for our science center here, you can put them on display to sell if you want. or put it on in a museum just as cool things that you can do. These are all designed, even though it's just junk parts. It's all interesting. Wrenchosaurus or Pliosaurus, saw blade. Anyway, come on down to visit Dinosaur Adventureland. Let's see, I want to go to slide number 657. There we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary, that would be the druggist back in those days, to send forth a stinking savor. If you open the ointment that would heal the wound, you should put this on your wound and you see a dead fly in there. You say, forget it, I'm not going to use that. Huh. So doth a little folly, him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. A person that's got a reputation of being smart and being honorable, they mess up one time, it can really screw up their reputation, like one dead fly in the ointment. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. This is a crazy verse. We'll talk about that in a minute. But a dead fly, if you found a dead fly in your soup, what would you do with it? What would you do? How many would throw the whole bowl of soup away? Just about everybody, okay? How about if you found a bunch of dead flies in your soup? Yeah. So if you do something foolish, it's going to, or some of you have great Christian testimony, but you curse and swear like a sailor. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. Nobody's going to want to listen to you preach to them with your vocabulary the way it is, or your dress the way it is, or whatever. Are you doing something to offend people, to drive them away from the gospel? Nobody gets offended by my haircut. Some people get offended by people with, dreads or long hair or something like that. I don't know. You do whatever you want, but I don't want to offend anybody with my clothing or with my vocabulary, my speech. They might get offended with what I teach. That's okay, but I don't want to get offended because there's a dead fly in the ointment. Okay, anyway, even a tiny mistake like a dead fly in perfumed oil can overpower the fragrance of a good life. The wise heart leans to the right towards stability and honor, while the fool veers to the left. His clueless walk along the road advertises his foolishness to everyone. I got curious about that, the right hand. Jesus talked about the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, verse 33. He shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. All through the Bible, the right hand is the place of honor. Jesus sit at the right hand of the Father, it talks about. There's quite a few verses I'll show you in a second about the right hand. The king shall say to those on the right hand, come to the inheritance you got coming. So the Lord has sworn he will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through the kings in the day of his wrath. Right hand, the right hand. Joseph took his sons Ephraim and Manasseh to his dad Israel, who was blind. He led them up there, and he wanted the older one to get the blessing, Manasseh, because that's the tradition in that culture. So he took the oldest son up to blind Isaac's right hand. Isaac crossed his hands and put the hands on the boys to bless them. And Joseph said, no, Dad, you got the wrong one. Put your hand on. He said, no, son, I know what I'm doing. God's going to bless Manasseh, but he's really going to bless Ephraim, okay? You can read the story for yourself in Genesis 48. The right hand, O Lord, is become glorious in power. Thy hand, O Lord, hath dashed in pieces the enemy. Thou stretchest out thy right hand, and the earth swallowed them. Talking about them getting out of Egypt here. No, God wiped out the Egyptians. The right hand. This is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. The Lord came from Sinai. I rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran. And see, from the right hand went a fiery law unto them. It's all through the book of Psalms. There's a bunch of references to the right hand of God, or the right hand, period. The last mention of right hand says we're going to receive a mark, the mark of the beast. By the way, if King James says it's going to be in the forehead or in the hand. Other new Bibles have changed it to on. Throw those away and get a King James, okay? But this in the hand, or the right hand, is mentioned a bunch of times, 77 times in the first 5 books of the Bible, called the Pentateuch, penta meaning 5. It's 90 times just in the book of Psalms. That's a whole study on itself, just the right hand and the right hand of God. God said to Moses, is the Lord's hand waxed short? Can't God do this? God can do anything he wants. The Lord hand double. God's going to she's going to receive double for all her sins from the Lord's. The Lord's going to make sure the punishment comes out. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save. I took the cup at the Lord's hand and made all the nations to drink. Book of Jeremiah, the fact we got to do that someday, a study. Isaiah and Jeremiah, talking about what's happening today from those books 2,600 years ago. Okay. It said the cup of the Lord's right hand. Ah, you can read that for yourself. Okay. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he's a fool. You can just tell by the way he walks, he's a fool. You know, these guys with their underwear hanging out and their pants half down to their knees. Go buy a belt. They're about $6, $8, $10 at Walmart. Use a rope if you can't afford a belt. Do something. If the Spirit of the Lord rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. So if the Spirit of the ruler rises up, if the king gets mad at you, find a way to pacify him, is what he's saying here. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and error proceedeth from the ruler. What does the king do wrong? Folly is set in a great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Sometimes idiots like Barack Obama and the presidents we've had, they will advance somebody who's really a moron into a high position. And somebody who's really good at it, they'll take him out and put him, in a low job. That's what he's talking about here. Under the sun, there's an unsettling sight. Folly promoted, while qualified are demoted. Slaves ride horses, princes trudge on foot. Social order flipped on its head. I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking, as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stone shall be hurt therewith. He that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. You cut wood, there's a chance you're going to get hurt, okay? If the iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, it's the only time the word whet is found in the Bible, it'll sharpen the axe. If you don't sharpen the axe, then must he put to more strength. Duh, you have to chop harder when the axe is dull. This is common sense, you would think. Common sense is not common, Joseph, okay? But wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment. A babbler is no better. A serpent, you see one in the woods, they just jump and bite you sometimes. Idiots are like that. A babbler is no better. I got some of you that comment on everything I do, you comment. You got to stick your nose in and make your stupid comments because you're a babbler. You like to talk. You like to see your name in print, don't you? Yeah. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow him up. I like listening to wise people. I love listening to Charlie Kirk when he always had wisdom in what he said. I like different people, different shorts come up, but certain people you can tell, no matter what he says, is going to be good. I'm going to listen to this guy, Senator Hawley from Missouri. I love listening to him, always got the beginning. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. Go back to verse 12. He's talking about a fool. The lips of a fool will swallow him up. The beginning of his words, of his mouth, is foolishness. As soon as he starts to talk, you realize, oh, brother, this guy's a fool. And the end of his talk is mischievous gladness. A fool also is full of words. The more I've got probably 30 people listed in my phone as TW, time waster. As soon as they call, I know, oh no, it's going to take them 30 minutes to say nothing. Brother Hovind, do you have a minute? I do, but you don't want a minute. You want 30, don't you? A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him, but who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. I think Solomon's saying, they work, and they do it all. They do everything the hard way. They don't even know how to go to town. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. It's trouble when the leader of the country or nation or county or whatever is just a child. They don't know what to do. He said, it's woe to the land when thy king is a child. Isn't it awful to have bad leaders, dumb leaders? We've had some in this country. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. It's a blessing when the land has a king or a leader that has some class. And they eat. They don't eat they get fat. Okay, you can tell when some of them, all they do. Well, never mind. I won't go there. I'll get in trouble. Okay. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through. They just didn't take care of it. Must have been a nice house at one time. They just let it go. You should go to downtown Repton over here, 8 miles away. All the buildings, all but 2 or 3 of them downtown, the roof is falling through. You know, it's sad. Wonder how much money they spent to build that back in its day. Yeah. Didn't keep it up. Didn't maintain it. It's much slothfulness. They're just too lazy. Too lazy to fix the leak in the roof. So let it, destroy the whole house. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Seems like money fixes about anything, doesn't it? What's that verse? The lack of money is the root of all problems in 2 Opinions, chapter 5. No. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought. And curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. A bird of the air shall carry thy voice. He's going to find out you're cursing him, okay? And that which hath wings shall tell the matter. Anyway, Solomon's giving advice to his kids here. Look, don't curse the ruler, even in your own bedroom. The word will get out. Oh, I heard you said this. Okay. Okay, that's it. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Comments or questions real quick, brother? From TikTok, talk about the shroud, okay? My humble opinion on the Shroud of Turin. Let me call it up here. Seminar part 7 of my creation seminar series, which you can get for $50 on our website, drdino.com. There we go. Okay. The Shroud of Turin. I think it's on this one.
Bottom left.
Bottom left. Okay, there it is. Okay. Turin is the name of the city in Italy where it was found. Okay. The mystery of the Shroud of Turin. They claim it's the cloth Jesus was buried in. This is the claim. Okay. The shroud is said to show an outline of his beard and the wounds and the crown of thorns. Well, here's the problem. He that was dead came forth bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was about with a napkin, bound about with a napkin. And Jesus said, loose him and let him go. The custom in those days was to put a separate cloth around the face from the body. So when Lazarus was called out, they had to take off the separate cloth. Simon Peter followed him, went to the sepulchre, and seeth the linen clothes lie, talking about Jesus, and the napkin that was about his head, not lying with the linen clothes, but wrapped together in a place by itself. It couldn't be more clear. Jesus was buried in the tradition of that day with one cloth around the body and one cloth around the face. The Shroud of Turin is one cloth showing the face and the body. I'm sorry, it might be a really, really old cloth. It might be a cloth somebody was buried in, but it's not Jesus' cloth, okay? The linen clothes laid by themselves, same thing in Luke chapter 2. In Isaiah chapter 50, I gave my back to the smiters and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. They pulled out his beard. Well, the shroud shows somebody with a beard. Bible says it's a shame for man to have long hair. The shroud shows somebody with long hair. Jesus didn't have long hair. Look at the coins or the statues of the rulers in those days. They had short haircut like mine. Jesus, you could tell when somebody had long hair, they were a Nazarite maybe. They took a vow not to shave their head cut their hair until they accomplished something for the Lord. So even then, it was a shame because you saw somebody with long hair. What did you promise the Lord? Well, I promised to give $1,000 to missionaries and haven't done it yet. You'd be embarrassed. See, Judas had to kiss Jesus and to betray him because he looked like everybody else. So no, I'm sorry. Jesus went to the feast secretly. No one picked him out as unusual. Is this not he whom they seek to kill? I apologize for my throat. I've been talking too much today. You could take the vow of a Nazarite. That was in Book of Numbers, and there you you never shave, you never cut your hair, you can't do anything from a grape. There's a lot of rules they got to have. Jesus wasn't a Nazarite. He was from Nazareth. He was a Nazarene, but it's not a similar word at all. Nothing at all related to a Nazarite, okay? The Shroud of Turin might be an old cloth that may from the time of Jesus. I don't know. Maybe it's a burial cloth for someone who was crucified, but it's not Jesus' burial cloth. Okay, that's my thoughts on the topic. Why do you keep saying we came from a rock? I don't. The atheists do.
Amen.
I think that's stupid. Real stupid. Like real stupid. Let me show you. They say, we don't believe we came from a rock. Yes, you do. Stop lying. They don't even know their own. Here we go. I'll show you. If you don't believe it, then correct these sources, please. I'm opening up a document. It's taking a minute. Okay. Oh, no. I got way too many slides. My computer can't keep track. Here we go. You tell me if I got it right here. Cosmic evolution. They say we started from a dot, okay, the Big Bang. Biological evolution, cosmic evolution. I'll get up here, George. I go over the Big Bang theory. The universe grew from smaller than a single atom to bigger than a galaxy. Oh, okay. Table salt. They talk about the size of an atom. Okay, it's pretty small. All right, let's see. Forget all that. Then, that's all the Big Bang. Let me get up here. The next one. Everything was squeezed into a dot. That's real stupid, like real stupid, okay? But you can believe it. I don't care what you believe. Just don't call it science. Cosmic evolution. Okay. I meant to get to, let me skip through here, to organic evolution. Here we go. The origin of life. When Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago, it was a uniform ball of hot rock. Want me to read that again slower to you? They think the Earth was a uniform ball of hot rock. This is National Geographic, I mean, okay? Was the Earth a molten ball? At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. Fact monster, huh? Let's see. When Earth formed, scientists believe it was a hot ball of rock. Didn't write none of this, okay? Let's see, where's this from? Answers.com. Oh, that's from Story Maps. I don't know who that is. Earth started off as a ball of molten rock. Let's see. As the rock melted, the Earth was a hot ball of melted rock orbiting the sun. National Pornographic. Earth was a hot, viscous ball of rock. Where's this one from? Universe Today. New research suggests that when Earth was still a hot ball of molten rock. Oh, okay. Here's a biology textbook right here on my shelf. I could go through and get updated ones. I don't need to. It's all the same. They haven't changed anything, okay? Earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago. Earth began as a hot ball of rock. And in the oceans, it rained on the rocks and turned them into soup. And in the oceans, the first living organisms appeared. R.N. Nelson, what's his name, idiot, says, no evolutionist ever believed we came from a rock. Earth began as a hot ball of rock. Hello, can you read that? Origin of life from rocks. Life's origin is closely linked to rocks and minerals. Here we go. The idea that life may have emerged from non-living matter, such as rocks, is supported by the concept of abiogenesis, which is pure baloney, pure imagination, which posits that life arose from a single organic compound through natural processes. 3.9 billion years ago, it rained on the rocks. And in these oceans, the first living organisms appeared. You owe your life to a rock, science.org. Let's see. Thank goodness for granite. If not for the foundation and subsequent erosion of large quantities of metal-rich granite on the supercontinent, we wouldn't be here. Earth started as a ball of very, very hot liquid. A few 100 million years later, temperature reached 2000 and Earth's core was formed. Earth formed 4.54 billion years ago. Let's see. Earth was so hot from all the collisions, all the rock melted, and the Earth was a hot ball of melted rock. Is that from Berkeley? Yes. University of California, Berkeley. Yeah, okay. Here it is. Millions of years of rains created the oceans. And swirling in the waters of the oceans was a bubbling broth of complex chemicals. Progress from a complex chemical soup to a living organism is very slow. Very slow enough that it doesn't happen. Earth formed 3.5, in the ocean 3.5 billion years ago. Life started. Life in a warm little pond, proposed by Charles Darwin. Wow. Okay. Earth began 3.7 to 4.5 billion years ago, and life began, possibly in shallow water environments. So let me explain it to you. Earth was a hot ball of rock. It cooled down, began to rain on the rocks for millions of years and turned them into soup, and the soup came alive. You believe you came from a rock. How do you guys drive on the highway? For heaven's sake, it's made out of your ancestors. Show some respect. What is wrong with these people, Joseph?
I don't know that.
Gee whiz. Billions of years ago, the planetary blob that would become the Earth started as a hot, viscous ball of rock. I didn't write that. National Geographic. Okay. Water trapped in the minerals became, here we go. Yale. Wow. Go Yale. Confessions of a former fireball, how Earth became habitable. Early Earth transformed itself. Wow. Okay. How Earth transformed itself from a fiery carbon-clouded ball of rocks into a planet capable of sustaining life. The theory covers Earth's earliest years and involves weird rocks. Okay. What do? They interacted with seawater in just the right way to nudge biological matter into existence. This is at Yale and Caltech, the Ivy League schools. As an added bonus, the weird rocks of early Earth could react with seawater and generate a large flux of hydrogen. So yeah, you came from a rock. I didn't write this. Talk to the folks at Yale and National Pornographic and Harvard and Berkeley. Tell them to quit teaching we came from a rock, because you did. Aaron, you do believe you came from a rock. I could find 500 more references saying the same thing, but they wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it. Anyway, okay, other questions?
Pretty sure that's meant to be the lost book.
Oh, I think it means lost books. I covered that the other night. They're heresy. They were written after the time of Christ. They're AD. They're not between the Testaments. All the apocryphal books and all that. Covered that, what, 3 or 4 nights ago?
Not too long ago at all.
Not too long ago.
And raining on rocks. We could show it that the other day.
Yeah. Okay. Question. How'd they come up with October 22nd, 6 p.m., first day of Genesis? I have no idea. Bishop Usher did that, a Catholic bishop who did the numbering in the Bible. October 23rd, 2 in the afternoon or something. 4004 BC.
A couple last ones from TikTok, Doc.
Okay.
What Bible do you recommend?
Absolutely King James, nothing else. As far as you go on a study Bible, we sell the King James Study Bible with the footnotes by Henry Morris. He was a great scientist and good creation. Got me started in the creation ministry. I disagree with a couple of his footnotes, nothing major. Do we still put the disclaimer in the front? Do you have that?
I'm not sure. There used to be a paper insert.
Yeah, there's a paper goes in there. The few things that I disagree with Henry Morris's, we stick it in the Bible. If you want to buy one, they're $50. Great hardcover study Bible. Okay, other questions?
The last one was, do you believe the earth is a globe?
I do believe the earth is a globe, absolutely. I think some atheists started the flat earth idea to see if Christians were dumb enough to fall for it, and some of them did. I think the devil started the Big Bang idea and see if anybody dumb enough to fall for that, and they did, and started the idea that a T-Rex turned into a chicken. The demons have to be laughing. You guys believe some of the dumbest things. Life came from a rock. Ooh.
Troy from TikTok says, how can they set up a men's retreat here?
I missed a couple of words. They copy and paste a men's retreat?
Now, how can they set up?
Oh, how can they set up? Yeah, just call 855-BIG-DINO extension 1 or 2. Talk to the secretaries. Come on. I think this is the ideal place to have men's retreats. I think Christians need to quit retreating, though. They need to start advancing, okay? Call it something else. But yeah, we got a great place here. 140 acres, lots to do, and it's just amazing. Just work on donations. Okay, that's it. See you tomorrow. Bye.